for learning outcome number 5, we're going to be talking specifically about the lymphoid tissues. Lymphoid tissues are basically connective tissues that are actually going to be dominated by lymphocytes. And the most common type of lymphoid tissue is what we call the lymphoid nodules that will form these aggregations or clusterings of lymphocytes that are typically going to be oval in shape. The digestive tract will have this extensive array of lymphoid nodules that collectively they're known as the mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue or MALT. The pharynx, which is part of the digestive tract, will contain these large nodules that are called tonsils, which are going to be distributed as follows. So closer to the nasopharynx, which is the upper part of the pharynx, located on the posterior surface of the wall, we're going to have a single tonsil that's called the adenoid. And then a little bit further down within the pharynx itself, closer to the soft palate, we're going to have a pair of what we call palatine tonsils. And these are the ones that we see over here on this image. And when you open your mouth wide, you're able to see your palatine tonsils. And then you're going to have a pair of lingual tonsils. And these are hard to see because they're located at the base of the tongue. So when we open our mouths, we can't really see the lingual tonsils. Then moving down in the digestive tract, we get to the small intestine. And there we're going to have what we call these Peyer's patches, which are, again, aggregated lymphoid nodules. And these are going to be located throughout your small intestine, but more specifically around what we call the ileocecal valve. Ileocecal valve is a valve that prevents the contents from the large intestine, which are located specifically on the cecum, to go back into the small intestine, which more specifically will be the ileum of the small intestine. And this is important to have a large amount of lymphoid tissue in this area because the large intestine will contain our normal bacteria that will help with the digestion and further breakdown of the content that's going into the large intestine. Therefore, these Peyer's patches are going to be located right over there at the border between the ileum and the cecum in case of when the ileocecal valve opens, there's a backflow of bacteria from the cecum into the ileum. So it makes sense to have more of these Peyer's patches located in this area. In addition, you're also going to have these Peyer's patches located in the walls of the appendix, which is this small little pouch over here that, due to its morphology, might accumulate also bacteria from the large intestine. So it's important to have those lymphoid tissues located there to try to prevent an infection. But there are infections that may develop, and this is due to the fact that the lymphocytes within these lymphoid nodules, they're not able to destroy the bacterial or the viral invaders that have crossed the epithelium of the digestive tract. And this is why, for example, here on the tonsils, we see those plaques of pus that represent an infection. And therefore, they need to be removed once this occurs because it's hard to get the lymphocytes to destroy the pathogens that are able to grow within these tissues. And the most common types of infections that develop that need to be removed are what we call tonsillitis, which is an infection of the tonsils, more specifically the palatine tonsils, and appendicitis, which is an infection of the appendix. And the surgery to remove those two tissues are called tonsillectomy for the tonsils and appendectomy for the appendix. Makes sense, right?